You can expect between 30 to 40 also.
30 to 40, wow.
I applied through career portal itself. Like, this is a myth also that it's not only about ML algorithms. I have not done any masters, but still I managed to get this role at Microsoft.
Hey everyone, welcome back to eLearning Village. I hope you guys are doing good and staying safe. So I am back with another amazing and interesting podcast for the aspiring data professionals and my lovely data community. And this podcast is going to be super helpful for those people who are on the entry level stage and dreaming to crack top tech giants like the Microsoft, Google, Amazon and Facebook, especially for the data science role. And today in this podcast, I will be having a discussion with Shailja, and recently she joined Microsoft for the data and applied scientist role. She started her career in 2020 itself, and that too as a data engineer, and just within 1.5 years she was able to crack Microsoft, and that too for the data science role. So she will be sharing her entire experience moving from data engineer to data science role, complete interview process for the Microsoft, that too for the data science role, the preparation, the resources, the kind of projects she made, how this roadmap will look like for the newcomers, how you need to prepare, salaries of data scientists in top tech companies. That means everything she will be explaining here, which will help you to start your data science career. So make sure to watch this video till the very end, and also like this video in the big numbers. Let me know in the comment section which company do you want me to cover next. For the data science podcast, I will bring data scientists from those companies. And also, if you are new to my channel and loving these data related content, then smash the subscribe button and press the notification icon. Alright, so thank you so much, Shailja, for joining my podcast. And I am really excited, and I know my audience is also very excited because they were kept on asking me, please bring some data scientists, right, from good companies and at least from the Mang. So here is your podcast, guys. We have a very talented data scientist from Microsoft. So Shailja, it would be really great if you can give a short introduction about yourself to the audience and little bit about your past academic background or anything related to professional background.
First of all, thank you so much, Shashank, for having me here. I've been following your content since a long time, and it has actually helped me in my preparation journey.
Thank you.
So yeah, thank you so much. Talking about me, I am a computer science graduate. I did my engineering from 𝗗𝗶𝘀𝗀𝗃 Vidyapith, Jaipur. I passed out in 2020. After which I joined Fractal Analytics as a big data engineer. There I got a chance to work with many Fortune 500 clients in finance and supply chain domain. And the tech stack that I worked basically was on Spark, Hadoop, Hive, SQL, and I was working on Azure Cloud, so Azure services like Databricks, Data Factory, Data Lake, Synapse Analytics. So these were the tech stacks I worked on. And after which I've joined Microsoft, and here I'm working as a data and applied scientist.
Awesome, really awesome. So looks like this is a transition from data engineering to data scientist. A very interesting story. I hope this will help all like the folks who are into these kind of transition state. So her experience will definitely help you out. So after completing your graduation, right, you started your career as a data engineer at Fractal Analytics, right, as you mentioned. So when and how did you figure out that you want to make a career in the big data, especially data science kind of domain, because you were already working as a data engineer, right? So very interesting point. I want to definitely know about this story.
So to answer that, I'll take you a little back in time. So in my college times, in my third year, so before that, I was only aware about C++, Java. So we had to do a minor project, and I was assigned a mentor. She was specialized in NLP. So she wanted me to make a project on the same. So that is when I started to explore Python, data science, big data, all of these fields, which I find very fascinating. So that is when I decided that this is something I can make my career into and I am interested in. So after which joining Fractal Analytics was another big, great thing that happened in this journey, because it provided me a very good base. And as Fractal is a core AI/ML based company, so there I was able to learn a lot of tech stacks, basically that we use in data engineering domain. So yes, this is how my journey was into data science and data engineering.
So this is really great, and you guys can also let me know in the comment section if any one of you who is trying to switch into the data science domain. And I'm a data engineer, she's a data scientist, so let me know your choice. Like if you are at the starting phase of your career, what will you pick, data engineering or data science? So now you're working as a data and applied scientist at Microsoft, so it would be really great if you can share your interview experience with Microsoft for the data science profile, like how many rounds were there and what all things the interviewers were focusing on, and it would be really helpful for the folks who are targeting companies like Microsoft?
So Shashank, for Microsoft, I applied through career portal itself. So this is something I've heard from many people, that when you apply on job portals, your resume never gets selected.
Yes.
So on that part, I can assure you this thing from my example, that is not the case. If your resume is apt and you have the required skill, it does get selected. So that is how my resume got selected, and after which overall there were 4 rounds, and 3 out of 4 were core technical rounds, and 4th one was the hiring manager round.
Okay.
So if I talk about like the individual rounds, so the first round was basically to test my domain knowledge and mainly about Spark and big data concepts. So starting from the questions regarding Spark architecture and how we optimize things, all problems we face, data skewness problem, out of memory problem. So all of these things, like overall Spark knowledge, how much I had, that was tested in that. And then we had questions from SQL, and we all know how much important SQL is for people in the data domain.
Exactly.
So questions regarding joins to CTEs to windowing functions. So from basic to even higher level SQL was asked. And then just to understand and test me on the basis on my problem solving capabilities, I was given small snippets that I solved in Python. So that tested me on various Python concepts as well. So this was my first round. In the second round and third round combined, I would say that was kind of more focused on system design, or I would say case study kind of. So I was given a case study where I had to design end to end, like basically how the data comes into my system, what my system will look like, what all tools and tech stack I'll use to process the data, what optimization techniques I'll use, how will I store the data, what will be the refresh cadence my pipeline will look. So the entire structure I had to come up with. So we all know this thing, that in these questions there is no right or wrong answer. You're judged basically on your approach and how good solution you come up with. Also, they used to come up with feedbacks like, this may not work, Shailja, you can try this out. So we all know data science and this data field is basically a field of exploration. So I used to take those feedbacks and come up with a different approach, and like, we can try this out also, maybe this can work in a better way. So yeah, this was overall my second and third round. There were questions on DSA as well. So, but yes, the questions were basic to medium level, not the one that we say that a very tough one. So we can expect questions from array, string, till linked list also, but not questions like complex problem, DP problems. I did not face such questions. So yeah. And the last round being the hiring manager round. So here the hiring manager round was kind of a fitment round as well. But yeah, overall background that I had, all of the projects that I worked with. So the interview went around it. So the recent project that I worked on, what problem I was solving in that project, and what approach I was using, what challenges I faced, and how I was able to come up with solutions, what was my contribution in the project, and all of these questions were there in that. And apart from that, questions that tested and like, do I fit into the company's requirement, the role requirement, job requirement basically. So that was tested in that round. So yeah, these were the overall 4 rounds. I would say they were more focused on technicalities and yeah, skills that were required.
2 motivating factors for the audience who's watching this podcast, right? First, you mentioned the job application part. And same query I have also received, like, we don't get an interview call if we apply on the career page. So this is sorted out. Here is the example. She applied on the career page and she got the call. So never hesitate and never get demotivated. Sometimes maybe that profile is closed or not active right anymore. Then in that case, you won't be able to get the call. If your skills are matching, then definitely you'll get the call. And the second point, the DSA part. This is the most often asked question for all the aspiring data scientists. How much coding is required? Like whether companies will ask DSA questions or not. So according to Shailja, yes, there will be questions, but you need to maintain the easy, medium till medium level. Don't go beyond that, and don't even waste your time practicing things just beyond that part. So this is really amazing. So 1 like for this amazing interview experience right now. And also Shailja is helping all the aspiring data professionals. So you can connect with her on LinkedIn, right? I will provide the profile link in the description. Just reach out to her for any kind of doubt or any kind of queries, and she will definitely help you out. There are lots of folks who want to become a data scientist but don't know the exact path, because internet is just filled with confusing stuff as well, and this happens with everyone, at least from the fresher, because they won't be able to get the right track. So based on your preparation, based on your journey in last 2-3 years, right, can you please share a crisp roadmap for the same which actually worked out for you?
So my advice for all the aspiring data scientists and freshers who want to go into the data domain is start from scratch. And when I say scratch, is try to focus more on skills like Python and SQL. So if you start from the very basics of Python and SQL, and then take the process a bit fast. So when you think that, okay, you are now good in Python and SQL, then depending on if you want to make your career specifically in core data science, then you can go forward and learn ML and specialize in that. And if it is about core data engineering, then once you are apt with Python and SQL, then you can go and learn about how distributed computing works, how Spark architecture works, and all of the other big data tools. So after this, the motive here is to have an overall end-to-end development understanding of a project, because this is a myth also that it's not only about ML algorithms. There is a lot of data cleaning, data restructuring that happens before that. So if you understand it, for the data domain people, it's very important to understand the data, because that is the crux of everything. Exactly. So if you understand the tools and tech stack, that is why I mentioned that Python and SQL is very important initially. So if you understand what your data is, how can you clean it, how can you restructure it, and later how you apply different algorithms and techniques to get insights from the data, that is what a data person is expected. So this roadmap that I would suggest for everyone is to start from basics and then stepwise acquire these skills sequentially, and that will help you out.
Thank you so much, Shailja, for explaining your journey, at least the roadmap part, and how it worked out for you. And you guys can also let me know in the comment section, based on your experience, what do you think, what are the top 5 skill sets required for a data scientist to crack the good companies? Another important question, and that is is master's degree actually required to get into the data science domain? And I hope I have the answer in front of me. You are not having a master's degree, but still I would like to hear from you whether it is required or not.
Yeah, Shashank, like you very rightly said, and this is something which is one of the other myths that people have, that for data science roles specifically, master's degree is required. So like you said, the very big example in front of you is me itself. I have not done any masters, but still I managed to get this role at Microsoft. So yeah, masters is not required, but if you see the JD, sometimes you see that the minimum years of experience required for these kinds of role, if I say applied scientist, is 3 to 5 years of experience. So in that case, nowadays I've seen that companies are more aligned towards getting skills rather than exactly matching the year of experience. So the suggestion here would be focus on skill rather than focusing on that master degree is the most important thing, and this much years of experience is the important thing. If you have the relevant skills, then you can get it. If I got it, you can surely get it.
Yep. Because you are having somewhere around 1.5 years of experience, and you cracked a job role which requires 3 to 5 years of experience, right? So this is definitely a realistic example in front of you. So moving on to the next question, Shailja, you were coming from a data engineering background but still cracked Microsoft in 1.5 years for the data and applied scientist role. So how can someone coming from a different job profile can crack interviews of big tech firms with less practical experience as well? Because you are into the data engineering and data science have some different kind of expertise and the requirements as well, right? And this is the point, where other folks are also trying to make that kind of switch, working, let's say, as a Java developer, software developer, and trying to move into data science. So how can they actually crack it? And in this case, do companies even shortlist their profile or not? Just because of their past experience?
Yeah, Shashank. So as per my experience, I can say this thing. When I wanted to switch my role into data science, so my preparation strategy was I used to go and check for the job profiles and what are the requirements, what are the skill sets they want, and how does that align with the skill set I have already.
Okay.
So the skills I thought that they are not as such apt and I'm not very much familiar with. So I started my preparation on that particular skill set, which were different from the one that I already had. So this is one thing. And second thing, like I already mentioned, that if you have the required skill set, resume obviously plays a very important role in this, that as we all know, that if the first step, resume selection, doesn't happen, then surely you'll not be able to chance to prove yourself in the interviews. So do make sure that resume highlights all of your skills in a very right manner, so that obviously your resume gets selected and then you have the chance to interview. So my suggestion for the people who are coming from a different job profile and who want to make a career in data domain would be to firstly upskill yourself with the required skill set and try to match at least 60% to 70% of the required expectations. And once you think you're upskilled, then only try to apply. And there are various people like Shashank itself who have already given a good roadmap of the required important skill set. You can definitely refer that, and I think that would be enough for the people who want to switch.
I think this is the great strategy. You guys can also follow it. Just look at the different companies' job description and figure out what all things you know and what you are not knowing as of now, and just work on that part, and then you can mention it in your resume and definitely you'll get the interview call. You were actually preparing for your interviews related to data science, or even let's say trying for a switch. So obviously you would have consumed some resources, some probably blogs, preferred YouTube channels or anything like that, or even books. So if you can suggest those resources to our audience as well, that would be really, really useful.
Sure. So in my preparation journey, so I did refer a lot of sources. So I firstly penned down all of the important tech stack that I wanted to learn and upskill myself into. So starting with SQL, I practiced SQL on LeetCode only. So I referred to various LeetCode discussion section to come up where some few folks have came up with very good solutions to questions. Apart from that, I used to participate in the LeetCode contest also, just to get a fair idea, like where do I stand, because SQL was something I was not so good at, and understanding the importance of SQL in data domain, I referred to LeetCode. And coming to Python, second thing, Python we have multiple sources which we can refer to, starting from freely available YouTube channels. And even so, in case of Python, I was already very much familiar with, but for the advanced level Python, I refer to a few sources like learnpython.org, and Geeks for Geeks is like the Bible for all of us. And same I did for DSA also. Like I mentioned, I did not did very high level DSA, so basic to medium level I refer to that. And coming to Spark, so for Spark I referred mainly to two of the websites, one being the main website for Spark, that they have a very good documentation for the people who want to understand the Spark architecture. Same for Hadoop. And other is sparkexamples.com, where we get to know small nitties and integrities of Spark very well. Apart from that, I have done a course from Great Learning also, just to have a fair idea of what big data is, what cloud is. And my other suggestion would be, there are various good courses for AI and ML and Python available in Coursera. Even I have undergone few of the courses. So yeah, these were overall the resources I refer to in my preparation journey.
Really helpful, Shailja, for the audience, right? Whatever things you pointed out during your preparation journeys. Another important question, right? Because this is related to the monetary part, the compensation and salary. Everybody want to knows about it. Okay, now she is working at Microsoft, how much money she would be making, right? So Shailja, I won't be asking your exact salary for sure, because that is not ethical and that is not even allowed. But at your experience level, since you would have interviewed for other companies as well, you would have negotiated as well with Microsoft and any other company. So what you have seen, right, at this moment, at your experience, what is the current salary band these companies are giving to the aspiring data scientists, right? I'm talking specifically about Microsoft, Amazon and Uber and these kind of top-notch companies. So that stat would be really, really helpful.
Sure. So Shashank, for entry-level data scientist, the range which I have seen in these big tech giants varies from 15 to 25. But yeah, surely these numbers are not the same for everyone. And there are a few factors that do affect these numbers. So like you mentioned that I was interviewing with multiple companies. So if you have a counter offer in your hand, that surely adds up in negotiating a better number from these companies. And like for my experience, when you this 2 to 3 years of experience range, you can expect between 30 to 40 also.
30 to 40, wow. 30 to 40 lakhs. Amazing. And I think it will include the base part and stocks and...
yeah, so when I say 30 to 40, it's including all of the components of a CTC.
40 is definitely a very, very amazing start, at least even your 2 years of experience, right? I was just getting 6.5 lakhs per annum when I was having 2 years of experience. This hurts, but I'm really happy that companies are definitely giving these much amount to the freshers. Amazing, amazing. Lots of folks are confused as well, and for every job profile, for everything, there will be some myths around, right? So what are some common myths about the data scientist profile? If you have heard these kind of myths and you have a different opinion for that, so can you just burst those myths?
Yes, surely, Shashank. And I think for data science roles, there are more myths. So the myths that I have seen and I wanted to highlight is, first of all, do not run for data science roles just because data science is the most hyped and it's the kind of most demanding one. So do not run for that. That even if you don't have interest, even if you don't skill set, you're running for data science jobs just because data science is one of the most hyped role in the market. Secondly, on the compensation part also, I have heard this myth among people that data scientists are paid much higher than any other thing. So I think when we compare in the compensation part, I don't think now it's actually very different if we compare it with the SDA roles also. So data science is not as such hyped in terms of compensation also. And the very last thing is people expect that data scientists every time 100% it's about only implementing ML algorithms and you are only doing machine learning and all of these things. But that is not the case. It's kind of an 80-20 ratio. Only 20% of the time you are actually implementing these algorithms. 80% of the time you are involved in cleaning the data, transforming the data, all of these essential things. So it's not only about ML algorithms. So yeah, these are the myths I've heard and they need to be burst out.
Amazing, amazing. Yes, at least the last one I do agree on that part, because people get interested for the data science profile. Oh my God, we'll be doing ML, AI part and this stuff. But yes, the reality is something different when you actually move into the companies. So thank you so much, Shailja, for just bursting out these myths. And I think this entire session would be really helpful for all the aspiring data scientists who are watching this podcast. And I find it really informative, the thing like you shared about your journey to Microsoft, the resources, the entire interview experience breakdown. So thank you so much for that. Thank you so much from my side and from the entire audience side, joining me on this podcast and sharing this wonderful experience.
Thank you so much. It was very nice interacting with you, Shashank.
Awesome. So that's what I had for you guys in this podcast. So I'm pretty sure you would have enjoyed this entire conversation with Shailja. And if you find it informative, make sure to like this video. Again, share it with your fellow friends and feel free to put your thoughts, opinions and queries in the comment section, and also subscribe the channel for more such kind of amazing podcasts. I will see you guys in the next weekend with another amazing podcast. Till then, just stay safe, stay home, take care of yourself and your family too.